Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of the Foolsopolis here in City Skylines. But today is probably going to be... I don't want to say it's the last episode without the super demand mod. But we're going to get to a point very soon where we're going to have to enable it because of how quick the city's building with what I'm currently doing. We're nearly at 20,000 population. And your boy is throwing in residential like it's no man's business this episode. We're going to go a little bit expansion crazy and fill up all the little nooks and crannies and gaps that we created last episode. But today, more importantly, there's a couple of things I want to get done. I want to first sort out the big intersection for the crisscrossing highways. I want to kind of slightly plan out where we're going to have a canal system heading. I want to get the kind of second or third, if you want to call it, stop leading to our brand new industrial area. There's a few things I want to get done. Now, if you guys are enjoying this and want to see more, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. And if you are new in here, make sure you do subscribe so you're notified when that next episode does come out. So, bam! We are back. So this is what we got set up last episode. A nice big beautiful industrial area, which is kind of a little mix between dirty industrial offices, just to kind of like ease the traffic situation. We created this all on and off ramp right now, which eventually will sort things out with double lanes to be able to turn on and off it. I've got to sort out this little interchange here as well so we can utilize this highway a whole lot more. And fill in all these little gaps. Now, I just want to address some of the comments in a couple of episodes. I'm trying not to build the population too quick, too soon. I know that you guys want me to go for straight 1 million population from the get-go. But I've got to get all the infrastructure in first. If I don't get the infrastructure in, and then the city will crumble. So if I don't build these highways, I'm just then going to build a huge city. And then I got to delete everything to squeeze stuff in. If I wanted to go for it, I literally just grid the whole land out. And then just literally put super demand mod on and then zone everything residential. That's an easy way to get 1 million population, but I still want to create a functional city, so I've got to get the mundane stuff done first to be able to progress. Now, what we're going to do first then is we're going to add in a little metro stop around here to serve this general area, or the majority of it, as it leads down to this section here. So we'll get the little metro stop in, we'll do some zoning, then we're going to build this. I might have to delete some of this to kind of squeeze what I've got grand plans for that junction right now. So, we're currently running up in this direction. We might have to slightly change it, but you can see that we're 2 away on this here. Now on this side we're only 1 away, so I got a couple of variations in which I can kind of utilize. Now, I might go for the same kind of stop that we've done in the other areas. I've got that version. I've got like this version, which kind of progresses over 2 sections. But I think here is the perfect little space. And to be honest with you, without going too mental, too mad, like literally, that could be the ideal stop. Now, would I want to maybe do some form of a crisscross? Like if I tried to implement this. I think that's 1 too many stops for us now. This is just a stop on the way. Will I eventually have something tearing through there? I could do, but it might not be a metro line. So let's just kind of keep it basic and simple right now. And we'll go with this stop just here. Which does mean if I quickly pause, I'm going to have to delete the metro line underneath. So if I delete it back somewhat, and then what we'll do is we'll just kind of keep it standard, keep it simple, mate. There's no need to go overboard right now. But if I tunnel mode it, bring this out so far, and then we'll just diagonal it. I mean, there's nothing fancy I need to do there, is there? Just keep it standard, keep it simple. And what I want to do is just put it into play mode for a second. And once it kind of updates, we'll fast forward. I'll then put the 2 new stops in on this station. Have I got that in anywhere else, that station? Or is it the first time I've implemented this type of station? Oh no, I've got one in down here, I forgot. It's a multi-platform station, so we can have more lines coming off it, which is pretty good. So if I add in a stop here, add in a stop there. It's got like a little bypass in the middle. You can kind of tear through it. And there you go. So we've got the stop in, which now means we can get stuff all up and running. Glorious. So first things first, and I'm actually going to implement some commercial
just generically around the metro stop. So if I just do a couple of little sections like this, now bring that right to there, bring that right down. Well, this whole thing here is going to be commercial as well. Just so as soon as you get off the metro stop, you're inundated with shopping districts all the way around. I might as well go for the whole hog. And we'll bring this down to here. And we'll bring it a little bit further up as well. So that way, might as well cover this little section just there. We have a huge shopping district around that section. All this here is going to be residential. Might as well just kind of cover that up to there. Down here. Now, when it comes to the park situation and implementing like services, we'll get onto that in just a moment. But let me just kind of cover this up. So to there, gonna get all that in there. So we'll allow that to build up and do what it's got to do, pretty much. But holy smokes, is this going to be legit crazy. It really is. I think we got to get this hooked up too so we can utilize the on and off ramps for these guys, because they're going to want to connect down to there. And they might skedaddle up, they might even use that. So this will get abused, this junction. So building this eventually will take a little bit of the heat off, which would be kind of handy. So allow that to do what it's got to do. We'll quickly now throw down some of the services then. So like, for example, healthcare. Gonna need a decent size hospital. So I think I'm going to throw this. We've got one currently over here. Do I go for this size hospital? I think I will. Just kind of place that in there. We'll go for some fire. Oh, did I get fire over here? I didn't, did I? No. So let's build a decent size fire department. Centralized to that area. But we've got the hospital here. Behind it, I'll implement the fire station. And now I'm going to go for the big boy enforcer tower for the police station. And I think it'll be quite cool to have it near the highway. Like maybe right next to the hospital. Just holds it down to the fact that when you're driving down the highway, you got this big view of a huge tower as you're skedaddling past. So the only thing I don't have in there now is death care, nor do I have the schools. But I'll get that in momentarily. And this is what I mean by there's going to come to a point very, very soon where I implement super demand mod, just solely down to the fact that I'm already at 20,000 population. The game is going to slow down very, very soon, and I can't really get everything in because the demands are super low. Like, before I even fill the inside of this highway, I'm going to be like at 200,000 population. That's like not even a joke, and at that point the game is gonna struggle. But anyway, let's take a look at this then. Now, I kind of want to slightly... How far did I zone up to here? Okay, I didn't. I'm gonna delete this. This whole section here. Because I'm gonna need the space right now to create a little interchange. Now, I've got two options. Keep it simple, or I could go completely over the top. Those are my choices that I have to hand. Those are my choices. So I might go slightly over the top just for the sake of making something look pretty damn good. And what we'll do is we'll quickly now set up. So if I go by 10, if I run a 10 across there, if I just go here by 20 to there, and I don't know whether I'll need it, but I'm going to go for a 30. So this just allows me that when I start building it, I can quickly select stuff and align it to different heights. That is solely what I'm there to do. So if I now pick a couple of sections, so I know that is 8, okay, that's 8 away, that's 10 away. So if I quickly now sort out some type of system that will now allow me, actually no, let's just keep it nice and easy, Seniac. There's no need to get too excited. So first things first then, we're going to split this into multiple routes and directions, okay? So this lower section here, I want everything to be all elevated. So it needs to come down, it needs to go to the right, it needs to go straight ahead, and it needs to go to the left. So I think if we're to elevate anything, it would be the lower section first to elevate over, and then the higher section to elevate even higher over, and then slightly bring itself down. So there's a lot of stuff we kind of throw it into this. But we need to work out the spacing in between each section. So to do that then, if I say I selected, for example, in alignment with that there, is that a 10? That's an 11. That there would be a 8. So if I stick out by 2, right, and then cut in. So I know that then, here, that there is a 10. So we know that is an 11. So I could probably do this one pretty easy by doing that. So I can just come down there. So what this will allow me to do is create the runs coming towards it. Equal spacing. So when we flip it over, then we've got it down. We've got it down. So how this is going to work here then. So just for this complete section right now, we are going... Do you know what I'll actually do as well? Doesn't make much sense at the minute, but if I actually kind of connect it in like there. No one's really using this stretch of the highway right now. And I key all of that to be a 1, because it's going to split into one lane. Right. It's going to split into one lane. And then if I push it back by... Okay, we'll go back by 20. And then if I... Oh, that's a point. If I pull it back by 20, I can then run it for a 2 for so long. So that 10 mark here, I bring it in. So here for a 2, I'll upgrade, bam, as a 2. And now we're in the 1 phase. Okay? Because that was split into a 1 there. And then that was split into a 1. Or do I split it here into a 2? Is the question. Because that's going to go straight ahead. The 2's going to... One's going to go up that way. And then one's going to go that way. So, okay, we'll keep it like that. Right, sweet. 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 So, we're running at this moment now. I would say a 2 there. But you would kind of want it to start a little bit earlier. So, if I ran that down by 5, but flip it. And then we get a 1 coming off it. Now that will go up to there. I can then delete that little section, delete you. And then if I run this one back, or bring it by 5. Right, we have some organization. So if I delete that, delete that, delete that. We come in out by a 2 here. Right. And then out by a 1 there. And this is how we're going to split the whole highway up right now to do what I want it to do. It's going to be very interesting to see how this now progresses going forward. So with a little bit of the Move It tool, we can kind of align stuff a little bit better. But this is how we kind of want it. So that's going straight across. This one here is going to go... It could actually either kind of bend round that way and go up. Or I can kind of keep elevating that up to then flip over. But it's got to elevate quite high. And that one just be the generic connect that way. Or I can have that one go that way and that one under. There's multiple ways in which we could do this. But if we then select it, so we'll just do it kind of very generic first then. So here, if I align this to the object height, without I can actually elevate it to here. So that is by 20. So I know it looks a little bit ridiculous right now. I should have made all of these be the same. So elevate to there. Oh no, I deselected it. Damn fool. So foolish. Boom. But then this one here, I can then elevate to the object height of, let's say, for example, the 30. Which is then enough to flip it all the way over to align to the same going down in that direction. Now, obviously, granted, the alignments are completely out right now. But if I show you exactly what it is, then I'll kind of get it all added in. So to there. We press enter, which to be honest with you, might need to roll back a bit further, but then the ramp, bit funky there, isn't it, boys? It's a little bit funky. The more we add in, the more we can kind of slowly divide it all out. Like I could go from here, for example, and then do it. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Doesn't need to push over. Or do I then, in a way, try the other direction? Like, for example, if I chose that there to be a 1, right, this here to be the 2, and then we connected. So is that whole thing now 1? Yes. So if I deleted that for a second, is that the 5? Yeah, and then came out from here instead. And then deleted that, and then here. So I know that down there is 15. So if I came down by 10, if I bring it right down to 10 there. Now, I bring it down by 5. Once I got this figured out, guys, then we can sort everything else out. So flip that round that way, that way, that way, and that way. That might be the better option for us. So there's a lot going on. I will make it overly complicated, but this is exactly to divide everything all up. I've got everything all perfectly spaced out. All I've now got to do is delete everything, get everything all in, and then it's a case of getting everything to the same level, making sure all the roads are pointing in the same direction. And then we've done it, boys. We have then officially done it. So we've got to bring this down by 5. Now, like I said, I know it's all not the same elevations just yet. This by 10 and then cut in. And then it's just a case of then choosing where we want the majority of it all to then go. So 5 by 5, then 10, straight smack bang in. So everything is all divided nicely. It's just then creating the, the underpasses or the overpasses, however we seem fit. So first things first then, what we'll do is we'll select everything that we kind of want to be well, we've done this one the way we want to do it. So what I could do, right, if you kind of think about it, this coming straight down, it's either got to go to the left or to the right. So I could keep it really, really simple and then just make it like as if these guys were going that, well, I can make these guys do that way and then flip over. So that will flip over to there, which means that would then flip over to here. So I want these outer points all now to be somewhat the same height. So select you, and select you. And align them. So forget about them not sloping correctly just yet. Let's see if we can now cause them to bend round perfectly. So if I go from here to here, because that's obviously where I want the first connection. Now, if I do this methodically, if I go 1, 2, 3, is 3 too much on that? Okay, I'm going to minus it by 2. So I've done a 2. I plussed it by 2. So there to there. So again, 1, 2. So I've done 2 there. So that stays the same. And add that in. We now have those little beautiful overpasses going in. And eventually we'll sort out the alignment to go down perfectly. Now for this, it would connect like that. So if I then go 1, 2. Okay, so it's literally just 1. Add it in. And then for here and here would be 1, add it in. And that's how it works on that. No issues, boys. No issues. But then it changes for this side. So, because these ones here have to go above these ones. But the reason I've made these ones go higher is because this road's higher than that road. So it will be the same elevation change. We're just starting higher up. So where that here goes up from here to plus 20, this will also go plus 20 because it's already 10 above. Or so he says. So in reality, I need a plus 40 road now. So if I add this in, so plus 40, hang on, let me get the same here, so it's on the 20 mark. Plus, that's 30, plus 40. Just so then I can select these 4 points right now. So you, and you. And align them to the same object height of that. So very, very high. We get it, very high. But then hopefully we can perform the same task. So selecting you, going over to there. So again, we'll do 1, 2. Add that in. From here to here. 1, 2. add that in. And it should be pretty standard for these guys then. So it was a 1, we add in. And then over here and here, it was a 1, and we add in. Look at that. So, yes, the elevations are all over the place. That's a pretty good junction, right? That couldn't be any more perfect if we tried. The calculations thrown into that are ridiculous. So let's now sort out the roads then, making sure that they're all pointing in the right direction. So once we know, we'll start with this one. So you're obviously all going this way. And then we'll sort out the gradients and elevation changes. So that one's all done. So this one is all pointing in the right direction. This one, not so much. All going over just fine. Yeah. This side. Yeah. And this should all be coming in fine because we've just done it the other side as well. So there we go. Perfect little stack. I like it. I like it quite a bit. And also, this is slowly building up as well. We've got no residential demand right now, but I do need to add more industrial in to be able to handle what's going on. So I can actually get rid of all of this. Hasta la vista, baby. And we're now going to sort out then the gradients. So we've well, I say we've we haven't really done anything. Now, this here, from there to over here, is only technically going up by 10. So if I added in that gradient change there, it will then enable us to bring this down a lot lower. But if I do it to all of these first, these ones, change them, I can then sort out everything else. So add that in. So from there to there. Nice. So then from this point, if I select the middle, go right down, I should be able to add in a nice elevation change, which does look amazing. So from then there to there, and then do the same here, down to here. So the gradual change is what is we're looking for. There we go. So now then, it's just the top tier one, which looks crazy. But do the same again here. Because we've started from the bottom working upwards, then nothing's going to crisscross or mismatch. So you can see from this angle right now as it kind of elevates up slowly, then pops back down. So do the same there. And then do the same there. Voila! Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too shabby, right? So all that's left to do now then is just make sure the lane kind of connections are perfect. Because obviously lane math. So they go over to there. So you can see here, 3 splits into a 2 and a 1. Then splits down into a 2. Bam, 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 bam. No one's crisscrossing accidentally. Oh, where's it all gone? No one's crisscrossing accidentally. So they should fly through this whole interchange. No issues, boys. No issues. No need to grab the tissues. Do we have another one there? That's a straight over, isn't it? Alright, bam. That might be some issue. I think because that slightly bends. But we'll see how that goes on anyway. So there we go. It's textbook. It's as if your boy downloaded the asset off the Steam Workshop. It's that good. You gotta know when to toot your own horn, and we'll see how long it lasts anyway. But that should do us well. Nice little kind of bumps over. Elevation not too much. The bends aren't crazy, so they can somewhat keep some type of speed. I like it. I like it a lot. So that now utilizes kind of both highways. And able to crisscross over. And from what I can see, these guys coming down here are utilizing more, turn off that way as well. No one's really utilizing this until I get a connection just there. So I'll get that in just a moment. I just want to see how these guys are and what they're getting up to. So there's a lot of people waiting at this station, which does then make me think we've got to think about how many current trains are on that metro line. So by viewing the stations, there's quite a few. So I'm going to up it now to 6. I'm going to double it and see what kind of progression we can get through it. There's a lot of people waiting at this station. This is the main station right now. Which is a bit mental, isn't it? But we'll see what it does over time with more additional going on. There's a lot more traffic on the ground, but if I can get, you know, another, let's say, like a connection just there, we could hopefully utilize the highways a bit more. Someone living over here might then jump up to then go all the way around and drop off. Like that. We'll see. We'll see. But no major issues just yet. It's just the initial traffic moving in. But we got to keep an eye on it. We got to keep an eye on it. So let's sort this out then. Let's sort this out. And do I upgrade this or change this road to be with the trees? It's a 4-lane road. We could eventually upgrade it to a 6-lane road, but I'm gonna keep it trees. And maybe at some point we might need to stick a roundabout on. You just never know. Now, is this the full shebang? It's 10. So that there should be 10, which that then goes in that direction. Now, I found out, someone let me know in the comment section, when I did these ramps, it's actually 25, when I thought this was 26, but we should still be okay with it. Let's sort out this then, so bring it out by 10, by 10, by 10, and then by 10. And then we want to elevate it with the highway ramps. And so it was meant to be a 25. So that's 25. 25. 25. And then 25. Obviously flip it round in the right direction. There we go. We upgrade or change this now to being a 2-lane road. Because, you know, lane math. We make this road then go underneath to connect it all up. And then finally, what we need to do then at this point is sort out the elevations. Boom. 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 And waboom. So, I haven't sorted any traffic lights out. Haven't added any additional roads, you know, to the slips just yet. But we'll see how that progresses and if it does anything for us. Textbook. This is I should call this episode the textbook episode. I really should. So we'll see how it goes then. So what I'll do, this is how we're gonna play it. Like, for example, look at this, for example. You know, there's already quite a little bit of traffic kind of sitting on. I won't mess about with it or change anything until we start to get like backlogs and a little bit of traffic jams, just solely because I don't want to spend too much time fixing all these junctions and doing stuff when I could be progressively expanding the whole area. So I just want to kind of keep it, you know, light-hearted until we have issues. Like, we have like a little bit of an issue here. This is mainly down to the fact that solely traffic lights. Now, I'll turn them off for now, but it is just the initial traffic moving in. Turn them off there and there. That kind of just quickly solves, you know, it kind of just puts like a little bit of a, it's like a smoke screen, isn't it? There we go. There we go. So I have noticed then a couple of people are walking from here to over here, which is not a problem, but, you know, we do have to think about other alternative methods of transportation. But we'll eventually get down that road anyway. We'll eventually get down that road. Nothing really much going on. So we do have a little bit of like an industrial demand right now. Not going to add any more to this because this area is already bulked up enough. If I was to add any more to it, it will solely be industrial. Not industrial, sorry. Office buildings. So if I bring that to about there. Now I did leave these quite open and free for potential roundabout scenarios, but I'm going to drop those just to there anyway. We'll throw some officey buildings around this section too. So I'm thinking no one's really going to like living around this bit, but I could implement some roads for offices. So if I brought this, yeah, let's bring this down by 20, down by 20. Now, that there is a full 25. That there is a 10. Bring that up. Where are we looking at for a bend? So, it's it's going to be a generic 10 by 10 bend. Nice. There we go. Could have brought it over by one more, make 11, but we get to use the full, we get to utilize the full 4 going back. Here, not so much. I could probably get away with doing like a little miniature 5x5. Is that 5x5 or 5x6? 5x5. And that there's a 14. All the way up to here is a 13. So if I came up by a 4. Now this bend here, you're looking like almost a 10x10. Wait, what have we not got? No, we got everything selected there. 9. Is that the 10 mark? Yep. So, would that be pushing it a bit too much? I can maybe anarchy a road in just like that. Would that be pushing it a bit too much? It's going to be offices and whatnot. I don't think we'll have too much going on with that. We got the nice little overpass for the road there when we added in like maybe like a little miniature bus route. But we obviously need to make it walkable as well. So if I quickly add in some paths. So if I start, for example, yeah, let's go here to there. I'll then run there to here. And then maybe run from there down to there. Now, with that, because obviously I've just seen where the park is. If I delete these, and if I run diagonal, so we got this like this very direct route, almost. Almost a very direct route. I was just trying to mess about with it a bit more. And then what we'll do is we'll place down some crossings on it. So build a crossing. So obviously one there, one there, one there. And I'll throw one there. You never know what's going to happen, but I'll throw one there. Then it's now walkable. This whole area, without having additional roads in, becomes very, very walkable. And then we'll put down now then some offices. Put down some offices right now. So get all this painted. And then we'll look at some different types of buildings we can kind of throw in the area. So no one's really want to live around this section, so we might as well kind of place down some of this kind of stuff. A little bit of industrial offices right now to kind of whet the appetite. We need some schooling around this section. Oh, there's a couple of vehicles driving down this highway. That's cool. So, few people. Still, the majority's not using it, but it'll get used more when we build up around here. So, buildings in general, unique buildings, if you want to go down that route. We could take a look and see what we've got. A lot of the stuff I've got in here is casinos from Dead End. But the transport tower, that'll be great for around here. Nice solid building to implement, you know, with the train station, the metro, the buses down here. Just makes kind of sense. Really does. We've got then the Mall of Moderation. Again, something kind of decent I can kind of throw in. But it feels like it should be around this area, but where around this area, I don't quite know just yet. Or maybe the Posh Mall now. They're both a little bit too big. Both a little bit too big. We've got the courthouse. We've got the official park. Ooh. Nah. Tax office, nah. Keep it kind of as it is. Got a couple of different variations down here. The Fantastic Fountain. We'll go for some generic park with trees to kind of supplement the area. You know, under the railway tracks. We'll implement that in. And we'll push. We'll do normal path. We'll push the path in down to here. And should I connect it going forward? I brought it to there. This little kind of path that comes out. Again, just trying to make it walkable. Add something to it. And have we got the Foolsopolis brush? Bring that size down. And then just kind of generically paint the area. I paint it all up to here anyway. Increase that strength. And then if you put zoning around it, then it will kind of get filled up. If not, it's got beautiful trees and stuff in. Bring that area to life a bit more. Not bad. Not bad. So now we're opening up these roads, and you can see there's a lot more demand over here. But again, I'm just going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm just kind of, you know, thinking there's a lot more stuff going on. We're going to need to bring some exports closer to this kind of section, which means you have to run a train line nearby and whatnot. It's going to be very important and very crucial for getting goods in and out of the area that we've currently got up and running. We'll get the schools now quickly added in. So we drop a couple of elementary schools in. So we have the little metro stop just down here. So we'll do a couple of inner city elementary schools. I'll place in one there. And then we'll do one just over here. We got to get the rest of the road connected in too. Which ups our capacity but doesn't quite give us enough to fill the eligibility. So I'm going to squeeze in one over on this side. We'll get a high school in backed on the opposite side of that elementary school. And then we'll also get another one within the vicinity around here. I think I'm going to get it connected right next to there. Again, it's quite close to the metro stop. Now, do you think at some point we should start implementing trams? I think trams would be a good one. You just got to be careful not to put them on the main roads that have traffic on. They could be very, very handy. Very handy. But you just got to be really, really careful with the trams. Monorails would work, but in areas where there's not too many overpasses with the highway. We could also get in... Oh, generic bus routes is always a good one too, but you've got to be careful that you don't put it on a area where it needs loads of buses to keep up demand, because then you're just causing traffic issues. So you constantly back and forth with thinking about what one, but for now, we'll just handle what we've got. We accept there's a lot of people walking from over here to here at the minute. We need something to kind of bridge the gap, but until we build this section, there's kind of no need just yet. Kind of no need. So looking good so far then. We've got the nice little stack in. Filled this area up a bit more, up to 26,000 in the population, which will slowly, continually grow. We've got some schools and some services. These guys don't really have the leisure just yet. They don't. But I'm thinking about, in this section here, building like a really big, large city park, which would be quite cool. I will eventually get some more in. But again, I'm just thinking about infrastructure for the time being. I'm just slowly thinking about infrastructure. So, canals. Did somebody say canal? I think it's time to take a look at building some canals, right? So, the reason I want to get canals in, one, it will be a good way to kind of lead in with some type of, I mean, it could be ship, it could be ferry, public transport, I don't know. I think it would be a great addition to kind of bring something additional in here, because obviously we've got a little bit of water there. It could eventually all lead to the canals. You just don't know. We could have like a nice little canal system with ferries, transportation, whatnot. I'm not going to go overboard, completely over the top, but I think it will be quite a cool addition. Now, to be honest with you, right now, do I bring it in one side, do a little T-junction, push us down in different directions with the ferries? Well, the canals, or do I kind of make them all come into here and this be like the basin for the canal system? So we'll go deep and wide. So wide canal, medium. Should we go like 100% deep, or should we keep it medium for now? And it maybe eventually upgrade it? Probably the better option. So that there is, it's a 23. I So 20 is there. So if I just bring this down by... It's so difficult because of how wide it is. The 20 is there. If I run this down by 40... Now that would kind of like bend around with it, because we'll eventually create bridges that pass over this. It's not a problem in how we can kind of incorporate these. Oh, I think it needs to go over a bit more, doesn't it? Right, actually what I'll do is I'll work with the road, because we have to then elevate this going over too. So that is 10 away from that almost, and then to go the full hog is 100. So the whole hog is 100. If I then do a 50, we're here. So delete that. So that is dead center. So I now know that that is 40. So if I'm going for a 20 mark and then up. If I go for a 20, then up. I now got my center mark. That is my center mark for both of these, and that is where I'm going to fixate the canals to both come in. So, again, it does get a little bit tricky. So, if I just kind of do this first. Alright, we'll delete that. So do that, just so then I've got exactly where I want it. And then coming from 10, I'm going to go up by 10. So coming from the 10 mark, go up by 10. And la-di-da. We have got it ready to rock and roll. So get rid of you. Get rid of you. So it's very symmetrical, but obviously they're going to go in very different directions. They're going to go in very different directions right now. So if I just going to quickly pause and delete that strip there, and then bring this all the way through. So I bring it to here. That's going to be another interesting one as well, is how are we technically connecting it to this section? So if I delete that, if I delete that, it's roughly the same amount of deletion we've done. It's just the question is, okay, if I bring it to 11, how much of a... Do I need to go for the deep ones from the get-go? Just go deep from the start. And see how it plays out. So that chose to come out by a... Right, it's a different size altogether now, isn't it? So we'll bring this out by... Right, the 14 mark. I'll bring this out by the 14 mark as well. Now, before I put it into play mode, I think we should try and key wall the rest of it. So if I was trying to get these connected, .10 and a 10. Obviously that point there and that point there, align it to you. There was a little point there as well. Is that enough here for it to be considered flush? Or have I still got to fine tune it a bit more? Maybe I need to slightly raise the canal situation. Oh, there's one there as well. If I raise that up. Oh, that's better. See, if I raise that, we have a better transition in. I'll raise that one completely down. But it's a better transition altogether, isn't it? Right, it's going to cause some flooding. Oh, I better do this side first before we go too far. So that snapping into there is a 10 and a bam. Nope, that's completely wrong on that side. Right, if if I just quickly do this. Right, you're almost there, snapping. Bam, bam. And then, ooh, I didn't mean to delete that. Didn't mean to delete you. There we go. So here and here, raising these to the object height of you. Oh, no, doing it all wrong. Erase the object height of you. Sweet. Now it's just a case of this middle one here. Oh, actually, if I just make it align to the same object height as this one, it's a more, it visually looks more pleasing. I mean, you could agree to disagree. You really could. And then my next thing would be, then do I raise the sea level a bit more? So it all fills in a lot nicer. Oh, look how many issues we've got in the city right now with garbage demands. We'll see. We'll see what comes of this. We'll see what comes of this. So we'll just give it a little bit of time to all fill in. So yeah, we do have a little bit of garbage demand then. And let's quickly sort this out. So what I'll do is we'll place down some generic incineration plants so we can slightly start to burn a lot of the garbage. Like that. So that'll burn a lot of it and kind of keep us going for quite some time until we eventually figure out how we want to set up a proper garbage plant. But that's how we'll do it. I can see that being a little bit of an issue with this junction here as well. But again, no need to stress just yet. No need to stress just yet. So that'll send out a bunch of vehicles right now anyway, so that's all good. How many people are using our little penny park? 15,000 income. What in the world is going on? That's big money. Well, then when you look at the bridges, where's the other one? The other two here. Makes sense why so many people are using it. That's why parks are so profitable. Yeah, so we're going to get some flooding no matter what we do here. No matter what we do, we're going to get some flooding. So we're just going to take it on the chin for a second. Until it all kind of eases a bit. But it's raised up so high here, isn't it? I mean, I could reset this. Oh, do I reset to sea level because of how this is? I don't know if I should or not. But yeah, when you take a look at this, look how high the water is to the quay wall. It's going to be quite low in the canal. So do I raise the sea level to make the canals look a little bit higher? You know what I mean? I mean, I can always drop it back down. It's not a problem. But if I bring the sea level slightly up a bit, has it caused any issues over here? I don't think it would, because that's quite high. But having a slightly higher sea, and obviously brings these to the edges a bit more on the riverfront. So, yeah, that might be a better way to do it. I'm interested to see what happens from that. But, got a little bit of a puddle there. Let's back into play mode. I think raising the sea level settled the flow of the water too, weirdly. So we're going to bring this out by 60. Now here, I'm actually going to delete it back a bit. And we're going to go for a nice bend. So if I went by a 20... by 20 bend. And then brought it out by 30. You can see where we're having very, very different directional changes right now. So it is quite big and wide. It might bring it down and we'll have like little ones that kind of cut off. But we'll kind of use this wide canal the same way we use a highway. Right? The same way we use a highway. It'll be, you know, from point A to point B, very direct. And then we'll bring smaller ones off it as we progress. Now, from there, we're looking at a 30, almost. So if I went down by here, a 30. Well, if I bring it off here. Because I know that is then snapped. It's like almost borderline the right distance. So then... Yeah, I'll just go for that bend. Why not? And then progressively bring this down. Where it's going to go, I don't fully know. But it'll be nice to kind of implement canals down the road. So I can see this progressing down there and in that direction. And then we have like a little one that cuts off and maybe goes for a little financial district section. That would be pretty cool to kind of see it. And have a little one that cuts off and cuts under there. So I want to integrate canals a lot more within it. So it won't look too shabby. We'll see. We'll see as time progresses. Right, a lot of traffic starting to build up down here then. So yeah, there is a lot of demand. It is down to the fact that, you know, we got to filter them in or out. They're using this as the main connection. I don't know whether that's because this is flooded here. So technically they can't drive through. I don't know whether it's because of that. That might be somewhat of a little cause. But also eventually setting up our industrial train line for imports and exports will be a huge, huge game changer for the traffic. So I won't mess about too much just yet until we do have the ability to, you know, change how the vehicles kind of, and the cargo is able to be transported throughout the city. Lots of people using this stop. Very good. Very good. So lots of things have happened today. Lots of things have happened. We've got major infrastructure down. Some stuff I can't really sort out just yet until we've you know, progressed further down the road. But canals have been implemented. I know there's a little bit of flooding. Oh, somebody decided to change this name as well. I forgot about this. Foolsopolis. There we go. Foolsopolis. There we go, guys. It's now renamed. Right at the end, I remember. So yeah, flooding. It is what it is. Take it on the chin now. It will eventually sort itself out. But more importantly, we've got this down. Looks pretty good. Hopefully it will continue to stay that way. A lot of population now grew in, so it's a 28, nearly 29,000. It will probably reduce right now with the flooding. But once the flooding's all settled anyway, that's the only downside to building a canal. So it's like, I've got to get it in now. Otherwise, if I implemented it when we had like a huge city, then flooding would be ridiculous. It would be ridiculous. But it's kind of interesting how it's kind of based all around here. Must be like a slight little dip in the land of some sorts. Got to get the road here, connect and crossed back in. So let's do that very quickly right now. It's a normal style road. So we are... Actually, how much can I come back off? Right down to that connection. We're going to bring it out by 10 and then rise it by... Actually, I'll bring it out by 12. Raise it by 10. Because I want, you know, stuff to go across it. 12, raised by 10. So that's also probably another reason why this is being stressed too much, because everyone's pointing and trying to get to the highway to take this route, because they can't come down here because I've killed off that road. So again, 12 by 10. 12 by 10. And connect. Glorious. Glorious. So we'll start then seeing more vehicles making their way down through all this little section. Now, to be honest with you, with how minimal the traffic is on these roads... Oh, look, there's a lot more vehicles now coming down here. Would it be worth it for me then to kind of create a little connection to one of these roads? Might be interesting. See, that canal's now settled. That one's now coming to the end, and it will eventually settle. So you get less vehicles now trying to get out onto this, which means these are able to flow in a bit more. But I feel like we need to utilize somewhat of a connection here. Let me try it. Let me see what we can get up with. So if I just did what looks at the minute ideal. I mean, the bend on that's shocking. It's all slightly awkwardly placed, isn't it? We do a 5. I can do a slight bend there. Oh my goodness, look at the flood. The flood is coming again, guys. The flood is coming back in again. Do a little connection there. It's a little bit of the way off that junction. And I'll wait for the flooding to kind of disperse. But it might be what's needed to give them a little bit more oomph to get out, to approach the import-export on 2 different levels. Now, what I can do here is I can obviously implement the ability to have a double... See, this is why I didn't want to go down. I didn't want to go down this route so early on. Elevate that up. But I can split them into 2 lanes. So you got your right turning lane and your left turning lane. This filters the traffic in a bit more. When it comes to this, it's a case of, you know, making sure it's dominantly left turn, right turn. I can bulk that into a 4-lane section as well. I'm bringing them in. But just by doing that, sometimes flushes it all through. Still waiting for a little bit more change to happen down here. But it's also about thinking of other ways in which I can bring traffic in. Once I get the train line added in, you're not going to have as much of that issue. This is why I don't want to sort this stuff out right now, because it's stuff that will eventually be fixed by future projects. And if I get caught up on doing this, then I won't get to those projects quick enough. I won't get them done in time. But yeah, this is hilarious. At least we've got the water in there. Sea level looks pretty decent. I might even rise it slightly a tad more. But I'll play around with that idea when we come to messing about with the canals and extending them a bit more anyway. I think doing that road here has really, really helped slightly. So we'll keep that going. But this is... that's going to be an issue with it being so close to it. But like I said, it's not the biggest problem we're going to have until I got more stuff implemented. It's only because it's the only connection currently directly off it. And I'm going to get so sucked into fixing it, and I don't want to fix it just yet, because I know I've got plans to ease them coming off this. So we'll leave it as it is. We'll leave it as is, and we'll pretty much leave it for here right now. So we've got huge, well, 3 big parcels of kind of infrastructure all placed in. And it leads us then on to future expansions. So next episode then, we're going to look directly at sorting out some cargo lines for trains. That's going to be really, really, really important for us to progress any further. And we're going to run those lines with the canal lines, because at the same time, you can run cargo ships through the canal lines. It is possible. I believe. Let me just double check it is before I even make those kind of statements. Oh no, it's not. No, because you have to have water within the whole radius of what's going on. My bad. My bad. But yeah. Bringing train lines down to this is very, very important that we do so. So we're going to run it with canal lines. The canal lines are going to be used for ferry lines, way to kind of bring people closer and to and from in different routes and whatnot. It's going to be pretty good. Also, having water running nearby, kind of increase the land value in a way. But for now, guys, we are going to end it for today. Big infrastructures we've now got in. Lots of plans and ideas we got coming soon. Hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, good.